Morning, we are in Bishkek and we are with Dastan. Dastan is a combination of body, brain and bank balance. How does it feel?
Feels great, thank you.
Feels great. Wow. Dastan is Forbes list under 30 most influential and promising entrepreneur. What it means that his projects, his ideas bring a change in the perception of the nation and he dictates in the business he is in. Dastan has set up a large juice making, mechanically pressed juice making company called Produce. He doesn't want his countrymen, the Kyrgyz, to have juices from made from concentrates and squash, and that is why the project primarily. Dastan, you had a fairly eventful life. You worked in PwC, then short stint at KPMG, and then UniCredit. Such a cushy and high-paying job. Why would you leave all that for a high-risk greenfield project?
You're absolutely right. I had a great career. I have a very promising career, but I've always had this, spirit of entrepreneurship that I wanted to try something on my own. A lot of projects in my head ever since I was probably a college student. I think that it's just my destiny to be an entrepreneur. It's one of those things that I always wanted to do, and I did it.
You mobilize about $25 million for the projects you are doing, and for a country like India and Kyrgyzstan, 25 million means 25 million worth of collateral, if not more.
More, yeah.
Right. So if you have that kind of money, you could go for a safer investment in a safer country and buy an existing business. Even here, you can buy an existing business. Again, a greenfield project is a huge, and especially when you bet your own house as an asset.
Well, you're absolutely right, and actually, I'm still betting all my assets, even my personal assets, personal real estate, etc. But Greenfield Projects, I just love Greenfield Projects because you have the opportunity to start from scratch, from zero, and you are your own designer. Every time I have an opportunity of starting a Greenfield project, I know from experience it's very difficult. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy and a lot of effort.
Correct.
But I don't know, I just love it.
Correct.
Most people don't believe me, but for me personally, it's not about making money, because I don't have a goal of like making $100 million or making $1 billion. And before I didn't get that. When people were saying, like, wealthy people I'd meet, they're like, oh, it's not about the money. Or you read books, you're like, come on, it's about the money. Don't BS me, I mean, yeah, of course you got a house for $10 million, you got a car for $500,000, and you're saying it's not about the money?
Yeah.
But truly it doesn't make you happy. What makes me happy is the process. That's why I like Greenfield Projects, because you're starting from scratch, you have nothing on the table, and a couple years later you have a running company. I mean, it's a whole process that can't really be stopped that easily now.
Correct. So we have been in Kyrgyzstan for last 4 days and met several people. In fact, in Narin we met a woman, a girl actually, at 23. She's opened a cafe at 21. What is it about Kyrgyzstan? I mean, people are very enterprising. Is it something about the country, the water, or the culture?
Well, to be honest, I don't think that the Kyrgyz people were entrepreneurial all their lives. I think it's a matter of the conditions that have made people try to do some business. Because usually, so Kyrgyzstan's economy, more than I think 40% is made up of small and middle enterprises. And as a result, most people think, hey, I can do this probably as well. I can also open a cafe, or I can open a law firm, or I can open, a private clinic. Why not try? It doesn't take that much of capital, and people try that. And cafes and restaurants are also part of our culture. Most people don't realize that, not even our locals, but I always tell people that unfortunately the only entertainment that adults have is going to cafes and restaurants.
So, if somebody was to get into Forbes list, what would it take?
Most of the people, after that news came out, it was actually surprising to me as well. And most of the people, the first question they asked is, well, what rank do you have on that list? And I tell them, it's not a matter of ranks. It's not a matter of your net worth. It's a matter of just entrepreneurship skills. You know, to keep it simple is how much you can make out of $1. If you invest $1, how much can you get out of that dollar? Let's say 3, 5, 10 years. So I think getting into that list, you have to be bold. You have to risk, because I mean I've looked at the list of these other nominees.
Okay.
I mean, they're doing wonderful things. Some of these guys have, you know, raised over $1 billion already of capital into
Under
different
30.
firms. Yeah, under 30, and you look at them like you're like, wow, you know. People say, wow, you're on the Forbes list, and I tell them, I look at the other nominees that are on the Forbes list, and I'm truly amazed by what they're doing, because. And it's not just only in business. There are people from sports. There are people from arts.
Yeah.
Yes, there are musicians. It's just it's great to have these young people that are, you know, moving the world towards a better life. I think people then ask the second question they ask is how do you get into that list? And I tell them, don't try to get on that list. Just try to make a difference. Try to do something good, and think big. Don't think small. Don't think just Bishkek. Don't think Kyrgyzstan. Think big, you know, regionally, globally. That's when probably you'll be noticed by publishers like Forbes. If you're just thinking, yeah, I want to be number one in Bishkek or in Kyrgyzstan, yeah, you'll probably be covered only by local publishers.
Correct.
You have to think big. There's a bigger world than just Kyrgyzstan, you know.
Don't try to get into the list and then you'll get into the list. It seems like saying it's not about the money.
Yeah. And it's like, regarding money, my mom has a great saying. She always says, money is not important when you have it. Yeah. And it's so true, because when you don't have the money, pretty much all you think about is money.
What is your word to the youth? You are young, but what is the word to your own breed?
Probably my word or my message always to young people is don't look at the age. So it's not a matter of being young. I mean, I've always been the youngest in school. I've been the youngest in college. I've been the youngest at work, and that has never made me, you know, feel small or feel smaller than people older than me. I always tell young people, be bold, be brave, break the stereotypes. Don't think that you have to be of a particular age to do something, you know, to start a job, to start a business, to start something new. And I also tell this to people that are much older. I tell them that, you know, if you're 60 years old, it doesn't mean that's it. You can't try something new, that you just have to retire and have a lifestyle that most people have at that age.
I think in your case we'll change the question. What is your word to the old, in the sense that how does a person at 50 reinvent himself?
It's once again just breaking the stereotypes, because you know, we are so much affected by the social surrounding, what people are gonna say about you, what they're gonna think about you. You just really don't have to care. I mean, I have a great example. My grandfather, he didn't have a primary education because he was, you know, helping out his parents and being like traditional nomads. Pretty much all they did was care about their livestock. So he went to school together with his own son.
Oh, wow.
To learn how to read, to learn how to write. That's my grandfather. He went with with my uncle, the oldest brother of my dad. So I think that takes a lot of guts, you know, to go with your child to school to learn, because most people would be like, no, I'd be ashamed. So this is like one of the examples that I tell a lot of people, that you shouldn't be ashamed. If you want to start a business at 50, go ahead. I have a great example. My friend's dad started the business when he was 52 years old. Now he's 73. His business has been around for 21 years. He's on the list of the 100 most wealthiest people in Kyrgyzstan. He owns the largest meat processing facility in the country. And he started all this at 52. And he himself, his background, he was from construction. He never did meat processing. He had no idea about it, and he started this at a difficult time in the 90s after we obtained our independence. So
fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Sentiment behind our journey is celebrate life. What, according to you, Dastan, is celebrating life?
I think it's living each day in a meaningful way, and trying to make. For me personally, it's making sure that when my day ends, I have a great feeling that I've done something. It's not just like I've done my job, but I've done something cool. I've done something new, something creative, or I've started something new, even a small project within the company, or I've just helped someone.
Thank you so much for your time, and that too on a
Thank you.
Sunday morning. You've been very kind.
Thank you.
Thank you so
And
much.
Good luck with your trip.
Sure. Thanks,
Yeah.
Dastan, once again.
Thank
Thanks.
That was wonderful.
Yeah.
I think you should do this professionally. When you come back home, you should definitely set up, I don't know, a TV channel.
Yeah.
No, I mean, why not? Why not? I mean, it's one of the
Yeah,
things.
50, reinvent yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.